Hey y'all, I'm Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I have not posted a video in a long time. I'm putting on a little bit of makeup for work today and I thought that I would just get on here and do a ramble catch-up. I'm probably not going to edit this video, so it might be a little long and, you know, not the smoothest thing in the world. I don't have any notes. I just have a few things on my mind. So if I turn my head a lot, I am also watching work messages over here and I'm looking at my mirror that's right below the camera. So please accept my apologies for not making good eye contact. So this is also not like a tutorial or anything. I'm just trying to get ready, and I usually start by concealing my daggone 5 o'clock shadow area, but that's probably a video for another day too. If you watched my last videos, I talked about getting approval for a panniculectomy. If you're not familiar with that procedure, that is having the lower apron portion of my belly removed. So I was approved for surgery and actually had surgery on July 15th. I live in the Indianapolis area. If you are considering the surgery and you are having trouble finding a surgeon, because I did have trouble finding a surgeon, you are welcome to hit me up in a DM on Instagram and we can have a chat. I highly recommend my surgeon, not just because he was willing to do the surgery, which is one thing, but he did beautiful work considering, you know, what he was doing, and it's kind of a crude procedure. And I didn't do a cosmetic tummy tuck or anything. The incision is beautiful. I did not have any infections, complications. I can do, so when the day I'm filming, let's see, it's early September. So I've had surgery over 6 weeks ago. I'm pretty well back to normal in terms of like healing from that. I have other issues with a few autoimmune diseases. I have gastroparesis, lots of mobility issues, and right now I have myositis or polymyositis that is causing some of my biggest issues, which is an inflammatory autoimmune issue as well. So my thighs are weak, my calves are fine, my upper arms are weak, but my lower arms are fine. My neck and shoulder and chest muscles get really weak. So sometimes it makes it hard to hold my head up, makes it hard to breathe, makes it hard to swallow. I'm on a really low dose of prednisone to try to help with that. And then I also got approval and started immunoglobulin therapy. It's an IV infusion therapy that I can do from home. I didn't intend for this to be like a full-on health update. I'm just truly rambling about what's on my mind today. So I started the immunoglobulin therapy shortly after I had surgery, so I'm feeling improvement already from both of those things. Immunoglobulin therapy is also called IVIG, which is intravenous immunoglobulin therapy. So the IVIG is mainly also to help with my lupus. So after I had my first treatment, I gotta keep moving so I can get on my work call in time. After I had my first treatment, I started noticing a difference in my fatigue level, just slightly improving, and also my mental clarity, or the brain fog, improved quite noticeably. I'm still trying to work full-time. I took a couple weeks off for the panniculectomy recovery, but for the most part, I'm still trying to work, but work from home. So it's been really difficult to have inconsistency in how my brain feels, how rested I feel because of work. I feel like some days somebody flips a switch and says, today you have a learning disability and you know, today you don't. So what I'm accustomed to doing and being able to do at work has been really difficult. My management has been really accommodating, really understanding. They know that my performance is not necessarily going to be the exact same every day. But I love working and I love what I do. I can't talk about it for their privacy sake. But between the surgery recovery and the immunoglobulin therapy, kind of occurring around the same time, I've noticed a shift. I highly recommend both if you're in the same boat. I've had some really nice comments from you guys publicly here on YouTube, but I've also had some private messages through Instagram with some of you saying that you can relate to what I'm going through, because God bless you, you're kind of experiencing some of the same things, which is a really difficult way to go. My immobility has been a real barrier for just life in general, but I kind of attributed a lot of my immobility to autoimmune disease. I didn't realize how much of that was actually coming from my belly. I also have spinal stenosis, so my lower portion of my spine has a narrowed spinal canal. So the stomach pulling and pulling and pulling on that has not helped. Yesterday, for the first time in literally years, I shampooed carpet in my condo a little bit. I haven't even been able to like grip something like a vacuum cleaner well enough to vacuum the floors or wash the dishes or whatever. Thankfully, I have a really supportive husband who does a lot of that stuff, which might sound great, but it'd be nice to be able to actually contribute and do the things that I miss doing. So if you're thinking about pursuing IVIG or autoimmune treatments or a panniculectomy, of course, there are risk factors. I'm not a doctor or medical staff, so I can't advise you what's the best thing to do for your body, but I do strongly recommend you take it seriously and look into options. I feel like my body is becoming much more free than it was before. I've been imprisoned in an achy, breaking down body. My quality of life has been absolute shit, as you can imagine. I haven't been able to take care of myself in the manner that I should be, and that puts a lot of burden on my husband and my family. He's really shy, so he may never appear on video, but my husband's a real champ, committed to helping take care of me. So I probably owe you guys a full video on panniculectomy, what it is, the befores and afters. I have pictures, not from the actual procedure. I wish I had those. Maybe I can get them, pictures or video, but I know they took off 35 pounds of soggy belly tissue. I did not realize until the surgeon told me. I made mention of, so he knows I have lipedema, the fat tissue disorder, lipedema. And we were talking about that, and I said something about that I was able to lose some of the weight. I carry less weight in my upper belly than I did in my lower portion of my body, which is classic lipedema. And I made mention of the fact that I could lose weight more easily from my upper belly, but I've never, ever in my life, no matter what I did, been able to lose weight from the apron belly. It just kept growing and growing and growing at an alarming rate, and I was getting really scared. And he said a lot of times what happens when someone does start developing that apron is it pinches off the vena cava, so that fluid is not actually getting dispersed, it's just dumping into the stomach. I suppose if you took that knowledge a step further, you would realize that there is no way outside of medical intervention to burn that off on your own, which was revolutionary to me. I've never had anyone say, hey, it might not entirely be your fault that you're getting this great big apron belly. I don't eat perfect, but I eat very normal, and sometimes I eat very healthy because I try to watch my inflammation. It just varies. So one of the things I was thinking about in posting this video is I'd love to hear from some of you, other women especially, if you're in my same position. I've been really frustrated by comments on YouTube lately that are directed at other creators, and really critical, really nasty comments. I'm kind of jumbling topics, but so let me back up. I started over, while I was recovering, I spent a lot of time on YouTube, which I do anyway. I prefer watching YouTube to watching, TV, cable, Bravo, whatever. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and some of the creators that I follow are also large, and one of them is Jae Bae Productions. And you may already have seen her, know who she is. She's on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and so I already followed her on YouTube, and she started creating Schwartz, which is the new product that YouTube is showing. You've probably seen them in your feed, intended to compete with Instagram or TikTok short form videos. So she posts a lot of shorts about being large and traveling, or being large and comically noting these are some of the things that fat people dread, and she'll show little tiny seats and like little plastic patio chairs and little skinny booths and stuff like that. Which is funny to me, and clearly it's intended for her plus size audience. She has a huge following, but posting shorts has attracted a different audience than her typical subscribers to her long form videos. And let me tell you, it's almost like the commenters are making it a sport to see who can make the nastiest, rudest comments. She gets thousands of comments on every single video of almost 100% negativity, criticism, people making judgments, you know, some people being kind about it, but saying, oh gosh, you should really be trying to lose weight, and not promoting obesity people, which really drives me nuts to say that, you know, just existing in a plus size body is promoting anything. She might be promoting travel and getting out in the world and, you know, being part of the world and doing things, but she's certainly not promoting that anyone try to be obese. Needless to say, the comments have been really bothering me, and I knew when I created my own channel and started posting on social media, posting on Instagram, that I was opening myself up to criticism. And I have really thick skin. I grew up in, you know, with 3 siblings and parents who are really sarcastic and love to play hard, and I'm very well adjusted about knowing my place in life and knowing what to do with other people's thoughts about my life, and, you know, putting it in file 13 and shipping it away. And it just, you know, not that I have to ignore it, but it just doesn't affect how I feel about myself. So I wasn't too worried about getting my own comments, but I did not expect to have such a strong guttural reaction to other people getting nasty comments. And not even just the like making fun of comments, the people who think they know things about her life or about a fat person's life just by watching a little video drives me crazy. Probably if you're in my same shoes or her same shoes, she's a toward size 6 also, so she's more of a super size plus woman. Beautiful, but she also has to wear an oxygen tube because she has pulmonary hypertension, which I believe she has said she's had for many, many years. Like, that's not an obesity obesity can make it worse, but it's not something that is created by obesity. If you look it up, and people will argue that, and I've argued with them. I've been all up in her comments, scolding people and flat out calling them out for that are just plain old-fashioned fat bigotry that I think should be called what it is. It's a socially acceptable form of bigotry. And a lot of people have argued with me about that and said, it's not bigotry, it's not race related, it's not, you know, you're not being oppressed. Well, if you look up the definition of bigotry, what they're doing, clinging to their beliefs and treating someone different for being in a classification of, you know, being fat as an attribute, definitely is bigotry. So I've been calling it out for what it is, and it's absolutely exhausting. There's no point in arguing with people. I've tried to explain that there are a lot of us who have, and this is where I'm actually getting to a point. There are a lot of people who are obese who I have known for years through local fat acceptance groups and social gatherings. There are a lot of women especially who have tried and tried and tried to lose weight and not been successful. I do not believe that every person who is obese sits around eating donuts and Twinkies and just being lazy and letting their body grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and increase in size. I do not believe that every single obese person is careless about their health. I'm sure this is relatable to a lot of you. So I was hoping to see in the comments maybe some responses from some of you, or if you're not comfortable doing that publicly, hit me up on Instagram. I've got my IG is linked, and I usually show it at the beginning and the end of the video. That you can see it from my about page. It's Amanda_fat and free spelled out. It's not an ampersand, it's the actual word and, A-N-D. I can't be the only person who thinks this, and it frustrates the hell out of me that our friends and our coworkers and our neighbors and people in our community would assume that we're liars, instead of saying there's probably stuff that we don't know yet about obesity from a science standpoint. I would love to see more research into obesity. It's not a sexy disease, there's not a lot of funding for it, but I really think that we deserve to know what's happening with our bodies. And I think in 100 years, we'll know a lot more about obesity than what we know now. And hopefully be able to find, you know, some things that will help other people, especially women who seem to be the ones really, really struggling with obesity. Now, I know I have lipedema, so I know that contributes to my body size, even though there are people in the comments on Jay's channel who say that lipedema doesn't exist, that it can be cured with diet and exercise, which is absolutely not true. And I'm living proof of that. The only known treatment for that right now is liposuction or crude fat removal surgeries, just really chop and stitch, crude, you know, we're going to chop off hunks of your body. A lot of times those are not covered by insurance. Liposuction is very expensive. It's also only temporary. There are a few people in a physician's office that I follow out of California. I'll try to link that too if I remember, but there's a doctor who is treating patients with tumescent liposuction who have lipedema, and one girl in particular I've been following quite a bit. She has a really extreme lipedema build and has been getting her thighs and hips and butt and belly work done. In fact, Dr. Schwartz, I think is his name, is one of the first doctors I've heard say that lipedema can affect the belly as well. And he actually shows in his videos how lipedema fat looks different than regular fat when you take it out of the body. You can see big balls and hunks and nodules in the fat, and some of them are huge. Some of them are the size of a bean. Some of them are, you know, like the size of a golf ball. They're just absolutely massive. It's insane. So I know lipedema is at least one thing that people are starting to know about, but there are still doctors and medical providers who don't know about lipedema, and unfortunately it's named so similarly to lymphedema that it can be confusing, or people can say they know a lot about lymphedema, but no, it doesn't cause obesity, when in fact it can and it does. You know, I'm in the 400-pound club myself, and I hate saying that out loud, but it's just the truth. And I think it's important to build community here with you guys, so I want you to know the truth of what I'm going through. You know, my weight has dropped a bit since having this surgery, but you know, I'm still very large. So I've gained a lot of weight. Oh, I've got to get going soon. I gained a lot of weight over the last couple years, especially the last year, because of this, you know, myositis weakness, and because of my RA pain. Hey y'all, my my camera overheated, which is probably a good sign that I need to wrap it up and get going. So anyway, I think I was saying that I'd like to hear from you if you are in that same club of like it being a mystery why you're gaining weight. If you look at yourself objectively, do you feel like you lead a lifestyle that has contributed to being overweight, or has it been kind of a mystery? Because I don't think I'm the only person. Sorry, that was awkward. I don't think I'm the only person in those shoes. This life is really hard. My life has become a little extra hard because of my autoimmune issues, and you know, some other accidents and body trauma and things that I've been through over the years. I don't know if I've ever talked about my car accident, but all the way back in 2002 and 2003, I was in a really bad car accident. I was thrown out of my car and broke a lot of my back, a lot of my pelvis, tailbone, cracked my head open, and through that healing process I had to spend 6 months in the hospital. And part of that time was in long-term care because I developed a decubitus ulcer, also known as a bed sore, that by the time they found it and dug it out, it was massive. You could fit a football in it, down to the bone. And so all that stuff has created some spinal and body issues and weight gain. My weight really piled up after my car accident. I got up to, I think, about 540 pounds. That I think my last weighed weight was 525, but I knew when I weighed in at 525 that I had lost some weight. So a lot of that was like excess weight on top of the lipedema stuff that I've never, since I've been a teenager, I've never gotten below 300 pounds. I got close to that before I knew I was diabetic, and my A1C was super high and I was burning off muscle. And I started to look kind of funny. I did get down to about 385, maybe 390. And boy, I looked really, really different. But because I was losing muscle, my arms and shoulders and stuff even were losing some weight, and I didn't look proportionately normal. I was losing the non-lipedema weight, so my hips, my butt, my thighs, and my upper arms were staying big, full, round, fat, and the rest of me was shrinking. But anyway, So I know I have things going on. I would very much like to hear from the rest of you. Again, if you're not comfortable posting about your journey in comments, I totally get it. If you want to hit me up on Instagram and share your story, I really would genuinely like to hear from some of you. And a couple of you have already shared with me that you're going through similar things and maybe your mobility is limited, and it's really soul crushing to try to keep living and face these barriers and walls. So I guess the only other thing I was going to chat about is it seems like try-ons are really popular. My husband and I are trying really hard to stay on budget into the spring of next year, especially because we might buy a house. And I've been wanting to move to a southern state for a change of scenery, and because we love the South so much, and some of his family's in the South. I like the weather for what it does for my body, even if it's humid. So we'd kind of been holding off, but if we're going to stay here for a while, we might buy a house. The market's really competitive, so I don't know if we want to go down that route. But point being, I don't want to do a lot of shopping, and I have a ton of clothes. So I'd like to know if you guys are interested in seeing some of the things I have, like a styling video or trying on things that I'm going to post on Poshmark so you can see what they look like. I have a lot of stuff from eShakti still to show you, and I know that some of you have been enjoying that because I've seen the referral link get used, and I'm so excited. I really hope if you're one of those people and you've been able to take advantage of the gift card, I'd like to know what you've purchased, and maybe you can share your experience in the comments. Did you like what you got? But I have a lot of stuff from eShakti I can show also and give you an idea of what they do. But I'm probably not going to do a lot of shopping at Torrid, and this is what I got for fall and this is what I got for winter, and I was spending $1,000, $2,000 on clothes, and showing you a lot of it, and keeping a lot of it. But not only is that hard on the budget, it is making my closet explode. So I really want to keep making videos, but I'm not sure what approach to take, other than I'm not vlogging a whole lot because I don't get out of my house very much. Whatever you think you might be interested in, I would love your feedback. But I really want to keep building this community. I know that there are not a lot of creators in my size range that put themselves out there, and I am just thick-skinned enough and enjoy talking enough that I'm comfortable doing that and being the one. And there is a new company I heard about through Jae Bae Productions. She posted a short. So one of my goals in starting a social media presence was someday I wanted to create a platform, an app, a website, whatever, kind of similar to like Yelp or TripAdvisor, where people could rate the accessibility for fat people but also disabled people of different venues, restaurants, parks, stadiums, concert halls, whatever, where we could post pictures and talk about the seating and talk about the accessibility. How are the restrooms? Are there steps to get in? What are the seats like? Are there, do the patio chairs have arms like almost all of them do? What is it like to get between the tables? Is it crowded? All that good stuff. Lo and behold, someone has created an app. So this app, or this product, is called Friendly Like Me. They have a small YouTube channel that it looks like maybe they've only posted a couple times on it. But you can download the app and start using it. I didn't find a lot of things already in there. So I assume this is a really new product, and we need to help them get the word out and start using it. So thank you so much if you've stuck around all this whole time and listened to me ramble. I just needed to get some things off my chest and get back producing some content after surgery and starting the IVIG, and I'm sure there's a lot that I forgot to say, but I love reading you guys' comments, and I hope that you will give me feedback about what you might want to see, what you might want to hear. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate who you are, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to get on a work call now and hopefully get this posted later if I don't need to do any editing. But I appreciate you being with me, and hopefully we will talk again soon.